Hi, I'm here to tell you today about the United Soviet Socialist Republic. So, look, you're not helping because I'm trying to help the world and Mother Nature by banning producers of CO2. In the long run, this will help billions of people in the law. Ook, I think you might have quoted the wrong post. Anyway, I agree with you that global warming is a problem that must be Look, you're not helping. You're not helping your cause. I'm trying to help the world and Mother Nature by banning producers of CO2. In the long run, this will help billions of people in the WA. How so? If the nations have found a way to avoid global warming on their planet without banning cars, overall, I'm opposed. Your Yes, in real life, not necessarily every single nation, why is that capitalized, in the law. What are you trying, what are you not getting here? Ook. Let's say my nation doesn't have wars. Should we forbid the WA from legislating on rights of non-combatants? Or what about minimum wage? What if I were a utopian community with no money? Would I see this as a good idea? For one, some nations aren't on Earth. Wait, what? Some nations aren't. That doesn't even. And have no issue with this. Secondly, a complete ban is harsh and not practical. It would take decades to go from complete dependence to no dependence at all. However, if you wish to address the issue, it may be far more pro. Ook. Most nations rip on worlds similar to Earth. I believe it is accepted that those planets likely have problems similar to those of the real Earth. Ook. You will not have much luck getting resolutions passed with that assumption. Nation-states need that atmosphere and a sun to support human life. Well, who says it needs atmosphere and a human sun on another planet? Doesn't even make any sense, man. Ook. Any WA proposals, draft or not, are illegal if they directly name an actual issue in real life. You could write a proposal about environmental protection, but not directly about global warming. Plus, this is a character forum. You post as someone from your nation or as your nation. Global WA. And may I ask, what global warming are you referring to? My globe is fine. Maybe yours isn't. It's like a partial proven theory that Earth global warming is a problem, because scientists haven't been studying it since like 1970. I was simply trying to stop it from becoming a problem here by banning producers of CO2, the main cause of global warming. You know, methane also contributes to global warming, so that's not completely true, considering that methane stays in the atmosphere longer. But okay. Like, this is a draft. You don't post those until you actually submit the council. But if you insist, category environmental protection strength significant is the start, and we actually do tend to advise people, because advising doesn't exist on whatever planet he's living on. Think about the category and strength first beforehand, so as to write it instead. Nervin wrote, okay, category and strength. You might want to read the stickies first about how proposals should be structured. Like, this is a draft. You don't post those until you actually submit it in the council. But if you insist, no spacing again, category and environmental protection, no spacing once again, strength significant. The resolution is a forerunner for future resolution. I formally move Article 1 Introduction of the following resolution be adopted by this House. The General Assembly of the World Assembly. Why is there assembly in that acronym twice? Article 2. Propose of the Act to provide assistance to the WA nations that are struggling financial. Proposal equals. This is a proposal to ban all producers of CO2. Oh no, I read that wrong. CO2 in the WA member nations to cut global warming completely. Once again, what about methane there? Because, methane is existent. And once again, whatever. This act includes banning gasoline-powered cars, banning the drilling of oil, and bans the use of a producer of oil as a producer of electricity. Not only will this lower the world's fossil fuel dependency, it will also make transport and electricity basically impossible. That's a great idea. This guy is a genius. Pooey, really? I would respectfully request that your nation send an adult to represent them in this assembly. If you do not wish to accept advice, then by all means submit your proposal. I will submit this proposal, and I will defend it to the grave to defend the entire world from B. Yeah, B is really evil, guys. You gotta make sure that you know what you're doing. But however you look at it, the rules still say nothing about the WA creating an army for the regions that I support, and it says that the WA doesn't get an army, so it can't make one for other regions to use. Like the regions' armies would not be led by the WA could still simply superize how these are. Like I read them, they said World Assembly doesn't get an army, but this act would have several armies in the regions. Each region would get an army made of 5% of its members' armies. It has nothing to do with an army being made by the World Assembly. Get it now? But this army would be created by as clearly stated in the rules. Please read them. For the rules, like I read, they said the World Assembly does not get an army, but this act will have made several armies in the regions. Each region will get an army made up of 5% of the members' armies. Has nothing to do with an army B. So that means you have to defend the entire world from B, but also make sure that you train the Bs in the army. I think this might be a whole Al-Qaeda case right here, because they train the soldiers, and then they have to defend the world from. Yeah, that's not how terrorism starts. Size. The WA is not allowed to have a military or police force, which is what this effectively mandates, because the WA will have to be in charge of it. Thank you for interest, however. Why, how wonderful, the World Assembly slowly rusting the world's power until criminals and terrorists is what I'm gonna say it was, probably. But, if you're training army bees, I'm pretty sure you should be prepared for terrorists there, but whatever. This is an act to make mandatory that the world nations set aside a small portion of their military forces to fight criminals and prevent uprisings throughout their regions. And at the same time, this act will also allow this force to fight terrorists, criminals using violent tactics, tear gas, because tear gas is used against crowds, first of all. So I'm not really sure that it's that violent. I think bullets are probably violent. Not sure about tear gas. I am a committed right-wing communist. That is the most contradictory statement I've ever heard. Facepalm. Hello, people. Still a Lutheran. I love classical music and opera, but I suck ass at singing. Maybe if you sucked less ass while you were singing, you might actually be good at it. I mean, every Karl Marx came from a relatively wealthy middle class family, haha. That kinda contradicts itself right there. Wealthy middle class family. Wealthy middle class family. Middle class implies somewhat financially insured. Wealthy usually implies first class, but okay, whatever. Marxism is based around the middle class. But isn't it supposed to be based around the working class? The working class is the middle class. What? I am a Lutheran. I quite firmly believe that God exists and find theism to be the more logical choice. Homosexuality is not a trend. People do not choose their sexuality. They are born that way. It's ridiculous to consider it a trend. The only people who choose to be gay are hipsters. Being a hipster isn't technically a trend either, because people don't always choose to be a hipster, so you're kinda... What you're saying is don't stereotype gay people, and then you're saying, instead, let's stereotype hipsters. Okay. Well, humanitarian intervention is not imperialism. Do you even know what imperialism is? Also, your SIG says imperialism, so I'm very confused. Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. And, no point in strengthening that by telling you what it is, but, I'll just say I do. To be cool. Attacking nations that are declared to be oppressive, like Rwanda, I have no issue with that. Random acts of imperialism are not okay. No /thread. No, a UN army would be a bad idea, and only would result in random declarations of war by the UN. Why exactly would they be randomly declaring war? Attacking nations that they declared to be oppressive. Is there any Russian political party that doesn't? No, an UN army would be a bad idea, and only result in random declarations of war by the UN. The truth are here. My main nation was deleted for flaming. Gun control is a bad thing. If you outlaw guns, only outlaws will have them. Outlaws wouldn't have them either. If you outlaw guns, then nobody would have them, 'cause it would be illegal to have them, and then I mean, those laws would definitely be enforced. I don't know what you're getting at there, but alright, well, this has been Fascist Russian Empire right there. Boom.